watching ABC News GH. This is ABC Midday. I am Abna Mante. Coming up in the headlines. Hundreds turn up on day one of the Free the Citizens demonstration to demand the immediate release of 53 Democracy Hub protesters who were arrested last week. Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana raised questions about the figure released by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture as the number of farmers affected by the dry spell that hit the northern part of the country a few weeks ago. Still to come in the bulletin, Asante Henry Otumfuo II has endorsed the Lantramanting's Comprehensive Great Transformation Plan, GTP, describing it as a visionary development blueprint. On the international front, Kenya's Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, on Thursday filed a petition to court in Nairobi seeking to halt an impeachment process launched against him by lawmakers. Grateful for your time this afternoon. Stay with us. We have details of these coming up shortly. Streaming live on YouTube, ABC News GH. Now into our first story. Hundreds of demonstrators have trooped to the streets of Accra on day one of the Free the Citizens demonstration to demand the immediate release of 53 Democracy Hub protesters who were arrested during an anti-Galamsey demonstration last week. The demonstration, which will run until October 5, aims at highlighting the ongoing environmental destruction caused by illegal mining, locally known as Galamsey. The protest started from Legonotonglo and will proceed to the Black Star Square, with the conveners set to present a petition to the Attorney General for the release of arrested demonstrators more than a week ago. Organized under the banners Free the Citizens and Say No to Galamsey, the protests hope to draw attention not only to the arrest of their fellow protesters, but also to the ongoing fight against illegal mining, which continues to devastate Ghana's environment. My colleague Andy is at the protest to report to us what is going on there. So when Andy joins us, we will engage him on what is happening at the protest at the moment. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Abna.
What is the situation at the protest at the moment?
Sure. Good afternoon to our viewers. So the demonstration that we had at 9 a.m. Participants gathered at the Okonglo traffic light at exactly 6 a.m. as they gathered to prepare. That's Okonglo near the Legon Stadium. They continued through the Shiashi Standard Board traffic lights, and then they also moved to the Shangri-La Airport. And today's demonstration, I must say, has been peaceful, and as they were in a meeting with the police officers since they started at Okonglu were with them throughout, and currently we are at Kanda, right after the overpass leading to the US, that's the SU Tower, through to the Bridge Hospital. And at every juncture, you could see that there's a tight security whereby the police is on guard there. So during the police engagement with the organizers, the police reminded them of their responsibility under the Public Order Act, which includes, and I quote, being held liable for any damage caused to any public property during the demonstration. Any person taking part in the demonstration shall obey the directions of the police, safeguarding the proper movement of other persons and vehicles, and generally maintain order, unquote. So when they had a meeting with the police informed them of this act, and when they started at the front, everything has been ordered, nothing has been recorded of, in the sense of anything being damaged or someone attacking anyone. They are still demonstrating, holding placards, pouring out their woes to the general public as they are moving. So we are now heading to the AU runabout through to Parliament. Then we get to the Osu Cemetery, Accra Sports Stadium, and then we also get to our final destination, which is the Independence Square, where the conveners will present a petition to the Attorney General demanding the release of the Democracy Hub protested. So that's what has been going on so far, and I have personally not seen any key figures here, any I've personally not seen any key figure here as of any celebrity or any prominent person joining these demonstrators. And mentioning them is mainly because on social media, on Twitter to be specific, these key personalities were kind of showing their support to these demonstrators, saying that they should go out there, they should support them and all that. But when we came to the grounds here, I've not seen any of them yet. We don't know if they will converge with us at the Independence Square. We don't know. But these are the things that are happening so far. And as I'm saying, the demonstration is peaceful. Nothing has been recorded in the sense of damaging anything. And the demonstrators and the protesters are holding their placards, demonstrating their will. So that's what I can report. And we want to let our viewers know that they can expect more on ABC Midday and us bring them updates on subsequent happenings. That's what is happening currently here at the Kanda overhead.
Andy, can you report an estimated number at the demonstration? Can you report an estimated number of protesters at the demonstration?
So, Abna, as of the 9 a.m. that they began, they didn't begin with a lot of people, but as we moved on, we got to the Siashi through to the Kanda where we are now, the number began to increase. So it didn't really increase with the number that we are currently having. So if I could paint a picture, we are having quite a substantial number here, and it keeps people calm, or people are still adding, enjoying now. So we are hoping by the time we get to our final destination, that is the Independence Square, we will get a massive number of people joining this demonstration.
And have you been able to engage any of the conveners of the demonstration?
No, I have not been able to speak with any of the conveners, but the protesters, that's those demonstrating, are the ones I spoke to. And as I spoke to them, the few that I spoke to sang the case, saying that there is a need for the government to do something about releasing the Democracy Hub testers. But there is no need for them to maintain them there. So they are going straight to the Independence to present their petition to the AG. And then they also made mention of the Galamsey issue that has been going on over the country since how long you could even think of. And they're saying that one will be tomorrow, but tomorrow too they will also demonstrate and then meet the Minister for Lands, and then present the petition to him. So basically, I've not spoken to any of the conveners, but the protesters are the ones I've spoken, and these are what they are saying.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. We'll definitely get more information from you. However, tomorrow, are they going to use the same route that they used today?
Tomorrow, tomorrow demonstration will go on once again, but using the same route, no, for now. But as they stated in their release, when they called on the police to also come and lead them and guide them as the police are doing, they brought out the route for today. But tomorrow's route that will be taken is not yet out. But anything, as I said, will bring our viewers the updates on any happenings about this demonstration specifically. So our viewers should stay tuned and then expect more from us.
Okay, Andy, we are looking forward to your report from the demonstration. So, Free the Citizens demonstration, an immediate release. They're asking for an immediate release of some 53 protesters who are arrested as a result of Democracy Hub's protest against Galamsey. Free the Citizens, Stop Galamsey. That is the theme for this demonstration. Still on Galamsey, the coordinator of Eco-Conscious, Awula Sewa, has described the arrest and remand of Democracy Hub protesters as an injustice, expressing her dissatisfaction over some detained protesters by the Ghana Police Service on ABC in the morning. She described the Galamsey menace as an existential threat that needs rapid attention from the government, and also to declare a state of emergency due to severe water pollution.
Well, I mean, there have been various calls from various sections of society that something needs to be done. People are unhappy that those who have actually been poisoning our forests, our water bodies, and destroying our forests, nothing much is happening to them. And then the demonstrators have been arraigned, who were arraigned before court, were not granted bail and were remanded in custody. So I know of persons who want to write to the Chief Justice to say that this does not look like the administration of justice. It looks like the courts are being used to intimidate protesters. So I'm not surprised that the Attorney General is thinking of writing to the Chief Justice. I'm not aware that there's been any dockets on them. This happened quite a while back. Then you have the demonstrators. You have so many police officers called to police demonstration. They've been arrested, including bystanders. We've received reports of persons who did not take part in the demonstration, were bystanders, who have also been arrested and arraigned before court and remanded in custody. Remanded in custody for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You know that you are deemed innocent until proven guilty. So if indeed you are innocent, you didn't do anything that warrants being put behind bars. Being put behind bars for 2 weeks, isn't that a violation of your human rights? I am not able to join the demonstration now. As we speak, I'm at a customary marriage, so I cannot join the demonstration. We are equal citizens joining organized labor, and they are calling for a strike from Thursday. I've said each time I've had the mic. I've said that the protesters should be released. There's absolutely no reason why they should be kept in custody. They have committed murder. They have not committed robbery. Why are they in custody? It looks like the courts are being used to intimidate them. I don't know why the judge remanded them in custody. And
The Acheme Buakwa Traditional Council has announced plans to reclaim all lands affected by mining activities and left with abandoned open pits, returning them to the stool. Speaking at a debate of chiefs and the people of the Jasi division in the Acheme Buakwa state, the Ochehene Osajifam Wetio for Repeni voiced his concern over the health risks posed by illegal mining activities and the numerous open pits left behind. He stressed that the Traditional Council will take charge of the reclamation process, ensuring that the lands are restored and permanently returned to the community, emphasizing the importance of protecting both the environment and the health of the people.
Enti mo baya se na yakada no ojo license wa ye ni ya wo mefri musu adi baba no mu so bia ti odor kokofo sika antentem ti osukokofo no ma to ma mine ana na tutu asase so awie wa ja bra to sa asase ya ka o is the gas anya wo dia bi o to asase ma mine no di mo sell wie na amna da wo nipa no e me kan gas asase ne wo dia and one man osika ato asase ma mine so tutu amna o kata so e di tontom ani how ba sa asase ye pesika ni esese na anya wo dia bi ni to so bi asase bia so ni ha ayo bi dia ye pani koin e no be bia no chema mra de se bia o dade so bia wo didi so e di wo chini na wo kwai na kodo na na yo kokofu a anya wo dia until say impuntu be ba kwa be ha yes ye be school and ye be school as school so me dia be ha no be ba ti for na be fa ma wo da wo asase no wanto ata ka so fa mo bi wanto obi anjus ka za huti ya juska na se impuntu ba kwa be na se ye pe ne dia school wo send why the babo ne ba na wo ya wo ba ka sa wo pre e ti kan e se wo se what is saying you essa uso uso mama fo so agora como ele meti ni bibi a de ba uso ti então o som na bispo som kwa be so enti October 12 no 25 years e ba ti mu nyina o na cheli na 25
Away from mining and into agriculture, the public relations officer of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Tanko Badbara, on ABC in the morning stated that the 1,000 Ghana cedi cash transfers will not be given to all the 8,000 farmers that were indicated, but to the very vulnerable farmers, widows and fiscally challenged persons who lost their livelihood. He further said that the ministry has a system put in place which can be subject to any audit any day. This comes after a dry spell which lasted from mid-June to mid-August, significantly impacting grain production and the food system, leading to a decline in crop yield and a rise in food prices, which the minister, Dr. Brian Echampo, assured that despite the challenges, the country's food system is safe and measures are being taken to restore farming activities and support farmers.
Okay, so we're not giving cash transfer to all 800,000 farmers. There are various categories of intervention, and we have category of people who qualify for such. We are looking at vulnerable farmers who are affected. We are looking at that widow. We are looking at that physically challenged person who has cultivated 1 acre, 2 acres, and has lost it. The person has lost his livelihood. So, as Minister announced, we are partnering with the Ministry of Gender through the LEAP program. Already they have a system that they can disperse. We want to leverage on that to be able to disperse to the affected farmers. The ministry is not going to go around handing cash to people, but we have a system that is put in place that can be.
Meanwhile, the Peasants Farmers Association Ghana has raised questions about the number of farmers affected by the dry spell released by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Speaking on ABC in the morning, the executive director of the association, Bismarck Owusu-Norte, noted that the Agric Minister Brian Echampo has not been consistent with the figures. According to him, governments claim that about 800,000 farmers have been affected by the dry spell that hit the northern parts of the country lacks accuracy, as the government is not able to provide data to support its claim.
Which I mentioned that, can we get an update as to how many farmers have been able to register on the platform? Because as I mentioned, even as at the ministry PRO is on the line, and he can attest to it, that even as at August 2024, the total number of farmers who are registered under the gaps for the PAD 2.0 is less than 300,000. So can they update us as to how many farmers have been able to register under the gaps to get support under the drought immediate subsidies? So for me, it becomes easier for the ministry and all of us if all this information are made public. Once they are made public, we are clear that out of 800,000 farmers, maybe 400,000 farmers are going to benefit from the cash transfer. These are their names. These are their locations. These are their status of farm that they lost. And this is what you are giving them. Everybody is clear. But if these things are done in secrecy, they are done between just the ministry and the donor partners, without the other stakeholders involved, how do we know that we can trust the process? Especially when, over the past few months, we've heard a lot of reports that there are party people who are being told to register people to benefit from that same support. It makes the whole thing murkier. So,
still on agriculture, the executive director of the Peasants Farmers Association, Bismarck Owusu-Norte, on ABC in the morning stated that the agriculture ministry should be transparent in using the livelihood empowerment against poverty data to know whether the receivers of the relief are indeed farmers, and farmers who receive these reliefs are the farmers who suffered from the drought.
Where we have issues, we are with the approach that is being used by government to provide this support. In the first place, if you recall, when the minister had a first press briefing on the matter, he indicated that over 900,000 farmers were at risk of being affected by the dry spell. And then per their own calculation, they realized that about 400,000 farmers were actually affected. We actually challenged that particular figure because our information on the ground doesn't seem to suggest that the numbers were that high. Indeed, engaging a couple of our insiders across the various states show that the numbers may have been inflated. So what we wanted was that the ministry should come out with a very clear database of the numbers that they are peddling around, so that we can all verify and know whether indeed the farmers that are being targeted for the support are indeed the farmers who are suffering from or suffered from this particular dry spell.
Away from that, the Asante Henry Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has endorsed Alan Kyerematen's comprehensive Great Transformation Plan, describing it as a visionary development blueprint capable of steering Ghana onto the path of sustainable economic growth and prosperity. He urged the presidential candidate to ensure that Ghanaians understand the depth and impact of the GTP as it holds the solutions to the country's most pressing problems. This comes as Alan Kyerematen, the presidential candidate of the Afro-Franco Alliance, paid a courtesy visit to the Asante Henry Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II at the Menchia Palace on Wednesday, October 2, 2024. The visit was part of a larger caravan campaign tour in the Ashanti region ahead of the 7th December general elections.
Sayana Mebo said when this was the any cratering, bet me a church Mama Ghana for who said, Kyerematen the Meba. Say na mse me de be fa be yi
say the five one better with you that's the number one some for say Kyerematen dey but this one dey have me say me de be go Ghana man say some make na any say ya better one for so me de be go Ghana man ayi
say dey anko be an kan no e bia dey wo mo ne dey wo kan ne nura kire mani panti ase yi
say na ko be an e kan no say ma won ka te mu ka na ka yi kura no say na wo say entimi nura kire mama for ti ase yi
as a krata mu dey me kan yi dey na chese ya mani hunu nyina wo krata yi mo
o say krata yi dey na the one kin kai ga krata yi dey na ga na ma mani hunu nyina e no ti mu krata yi
ene ojo oni wa pan for mo ne debro mani pa nyina antie
obra to ase no se be ne ga ka o kin kai dey mo ne debro mani kwa chiri na ga na ma ya so nyina antie yo.
Still on election-related matters, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has warned supporters of the NDC not to be in a jubilant mood over recent polls by Fitch and Global Info Analytics that have predicted him to win the 2024 general elections. Fitch Solutions, a UK-based rating agency, in its latest report predicted that the NDC is poised to win the elections. A final field poll conducted by Global Info Analytics shows Mahama maintaining a commanding lead over his closest competitor, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia of the ruling New Patriotic Party. Mahama, while touring the Northeast region on Wednesday, October 2, highlighted that recent polls from reputable organizations like Fitch Solutions and Global Info Analytics suggest a strong likelihood of the NDC securing victory in the upcoming elections. However, he cautioned his supporters against complacency, emphasizing the need for vigilance throughout the electoral process.
So there is no breaking the 8 because the 8 is with me. What is going to break is 8 years of hardship, 8 years of corruption, 8 years of arrogance, 8 years of impunity. That is what is going to break. And I know that we are on course for victory. All the opinion polls, Fitch Solutions, EIU, Global Info Analytics, every credible opinion poll shows that NDC is going to win. The recent prediction is that NDC is going to win in 12 regions of the country, and MPP will.
Meanwhile, the 2024 flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has promised the Muslim community that his government would grant a 2-day Eid al-Fitr holiday if voted into power. He made this known during his 2-day campaign tour of the Northeast region, where he has been engaging with traditional rulers and residents. He expressed concern over the inability of some Muslims to enjoy their Eid al-Fitr holiday due to the changes in the moon's appearance.
Tia nang sala zongo benya holiday. Banya nang biane bagba holiday. So 2 days for Eid al-Fitr, so that all of us, even if we see the moon the next day and we do prayers the next day, all of us will have a holiday so that we can all rest.
Away from that, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokunu has addressed the recent criticism by Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame regarding the delays in illegal mining, commonly referred to as galamsey. In her remarks, Chief Justice Tokunu clarified that these delays are primarily attributed to the actions of prosecutors rather than the judiciary itself. This statement comes in response to mounting pressure for the judicial system to expedite ruling on these critical environmental cases. The Attorney General previously called for judges to expedite decisions on galamsey cases, urging them to deliver verdicts within a month. During his address on October 2, 2024, Mr. Dame highlighted the urgency of the situation, arguing that swift judicial action is essential to mitigating the severe environmental damage caused by illegal mining activities. He expressed concerns that prolonged delays in the legal process are allowing the degradation of Ghana's water bodies and forest reserves to continue unabated. At the annual conference of the Association of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana, Mr. Dame voiced his frustrations over the slow pace of prosecuting these cases, which he believes is contributing to the ongoing environmental crisis. In her response, Chief Justice Tokonu acknowledged the concerns raised by Attorney General, but reiterated that the judiciary cannot be solely blamed for the delays. She emphasized that the prosecution plays a significant role in the timely resolution of cases and that improving the efficiency of prosecutorial processes is crucial for expediting justice. Away from legal matters, the ranking member of Parliamentary Select Committee for Information and Communication, Mahama Yariga, has issued a request for information under the Right to Information Act to the Communications Minister, Ursula Owusu-Ekufo. This inquiry focuses on Next Generation Infrastructure Company, which is under increased scrutiny due to its implications for the Ghanaian telecommunications industry. The request by Mr. Ayariga comes amid growing concerns over the transparency of government contracts and their impact on service delivery and competition. He is seeking specific information, including the full contractual agreement between the government and Next Gen Infraco, the deal's terms, and any financial implications for the state. He has emphasized that such agreements should not be limited to verbal statements and must be made available to his office for proper review. Expressing his apprehension, Mr. Ayariga noted that the lack of accessible information surrounding the deal could impede public scrutiny and understanding of its alignment with national interests. He called for accountability, particularly amid allegations that the agreements may disproportionately benefit certain private interests at the expense of the public. Away from that, let's take some business news. Fitch Solutions, a UK-based firm, has predicted Ghana's economy to expand by 4.4% in 2025, lower than the anticipated 5.5% gross domestic product growth in 2024. According to Fitch Solutions, although this represents a deceleration compared to 2024, it will remain above the 3.6% it's forecast for sub-Saharan Africa in 2025. This 4.4% GDP growth will keep Ghana a regional outperformer. The UK-based firm added that private consumption will remain the engine of growth next year. In a release, Fitch says, and I quote, Fitch says, we expect inflation to trend down through 2025, averaging 16.0%, the lowest annual rate since 2021. Easing price pressures will bolster the purchasing power of households, boost consumer confidence, and incentivize private consumption. Economist Professor Patrick Esuming has attributed the recent rise in inflation to low investment in the food sector. He spoke to us on ABC in the morning about the month-on-month inflation that has reached 2.8% in September.
You know, when we start harvesting, it is going to follow us for a long time. And I think that's how we should think about it. So there hasn't been substantial investment in food production across the chain for a long time, regardless of having the planting for food and jobs and all the investments we've made. And when it comes to food, so there are many things. There are the input costs. The input is the seeds are a big deal. Productivity is part. And even when we have a bumper harvest, you have to think about the storage and the transportation. So you could have seasons where food is rotting on farm gates and there's food shortage in the urban centers because the roads are not good or it is raining, and because the roads are not good, we are struggling to transport them. And we also don't have means to sustain them. So sometimes there are seasons where we have a bumper, and then because we can't process or store, things go bad, and then in a short period we start having high prices. That frequently happens with tomatoes in particular. You know, when we start.
That's all for business news. Up next is sports. The Senegal Football Federation has announced that Aliou Cissé will not have his expired contract extended after 9 years in charge as head coach of the national team. Cissé, who has been in charge since 2015, was in talks with the FSF over a one-year contract extension after his contract expired in August. However, a directive from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture expressed its disapproval regarding the proposed one-year extension for Cissé, which led to the FSF decision. Cissé's exit comes just days before Senegal's upcoming back-to-back matches against Malawi in the 2025 Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers scheduled for this month. Cissé achieved significant success in 2022 in Cameroon when he guided the team to their first ever AFCON title against Egypt. That's all for sports. International news is up next. Kenya's Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Thursday filed a petition to a court in Nairobi seeking to halt an impeachment process launched against him by lawmakers earlier this week. Kenyan media reported allies of Kenyan President William Ruto launched a motion in Parliament on Tuesday to impeach Gachagua, accusing him of stirring ethnic hatred and undermining the government. Gachagua says he has been sidelined and has denied accusations by Ruto allies that he was behind violent anti-government protests earlier this year. In the petition filed on Thursday, Gachagua said the impeachment motion was a choreographed political lynching designed to defeat the sovereign will of the Kenyan people, expressed at the presidential election held in August 2022, the Star newspaper reported. Still in international stories, on October 2, 2024, a massive explosion rocked Beirut, Lebanon, following an Israeli military strike. The Israeli Defense Forces claimed to have conducted a precise strike on a target in the city, resulting in significant destruction and casualties. According to reports, at least 29 Palestinians were killed and dozens wounded in the strike. The explosion was captured on video by Reuters, showing a large plume of smoke and debris rising from the city's skyline. That's all for international news. Now let's take some entertainment stories. People are to sue rap musician Sean Diddy Combs for sexual assault, rape, and sexual exploitation, a U.S. lawyer has said. Texas-based lawyer Tony Busby said that some of the alleged victims include minors who were abused when they were as young as 9 years old. This is an important matter that we intend to aggressively pursue, Mr. Busby told reporters.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors.
And on this note, we end this afternoon's bulletin. Be rest assured that we will be bringing you footage from the Free the Citizens demonstration that is happening from today through to Saturday. Our reporter is on the ground to provide us with up-to-date information from the protest. You should visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com for more information and more news, timely and credible news. Interact with us on social media at ABC News GH. I am Abna Manti. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.